T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I am Driune Santana, of course, your EIC of WWT. And of course, I have my senior writer and host, Nickie Booshie, tag team partner, one half of the most dominating tag team in Women's Wrestling Talk history, the Salt Shakers, and of course, Meka Billy, who is also a writer and host for us now. It was faction here. This is a faction here, so I hope you guys are ready for what's about to get started. How are you two doing today?
I'm better. I'm just gonna say I'm better than the last show. So if you guys watched the last show, you got a whole different side of what happens when I don't have control. And I actually just got back myself. I just touched down back in Tennessee from Slugfest in Louisville, Kentucky with Impact Wrestling. So that was absolutely amazing. Shout out to Trey Miguel and Deanna and Tasha and Chris Bay and all them. Even Jay White. Shout out to Jay White for dissing me heavily on, but we're not here for that. But I'm good, Santana. How are you? You held it down very wonderfully last night for AEW Revolution. So how are you?
I was solo dolo. I was a loner. Everybody was out doing their own thing, and I was at home.
There was a lot of wrestling.
There was a lot of wrestling that took place last night. Meka went out to one of the local promotions in her city. How was it, Meka? Was it good? I know you enjoyed yourself there.
Yeah, no, first of all, hey everybody, I'm good. No, VIP wrestling was great. As it always is. Our current champion is Shane Taylor. He fought JTG, so that was all good. They announced a really big show for Mania weekend, and it's actually gonna be after night 2, and it doesn't start till like midnight. So it's kind of dope. So I think we might try to go. It's gonna be kind of good. The legend Minoru Suzuki is gonna be there, so it's gonna be pretty cool. Right. But the women showed out as they always do. They look gorgeous. We got some stuff coming to the page. Some shout outs that Nickie and I both got last night. So, it was great. I'm just ready to get Becky Lynch.
Well, you guys, Santana will be in the mix since we have a moment. I mean, she will be in the mix for WrestleCon in Dallas. I mean, she may not have gotten a taste of the wrestling this weekend, but don't forget to see your fave Santana at WrestleCon.
Wow, I never knew I was a favorite.
Oh, definitely. You're definitely one of the faves here.
I never knew that. I really, that is news to somebody like me. Honestly, truly. I would have never guessed that I would have been someone's favorite, but
gotcha.
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, as soon as you saw from the title, you guys know exactly why we're here. We're here to give you the top 5 moments of our now Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. This article was done by none other than one of our writers, Sammy, who is in the audience on today. Sammy's getting a lot of love today. I mean, this is the second top 5 that he's done today that, I mean, has been featured on Women's Wrestling Talk as far as the panel goes. Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. Okay.
Shout out to Sam for we'll see if he represents. We'll see if he represented it well. But shout out to Sam for having the guts to do a top 5 on some of the 4 horsewomen. Everybody knows I'm the resident 4 horsewoman here. 5th horsewoman. According to Meka last night, I became the Virtuoso's Vixen. So I'm catching all the names. But shout out to Sam for really digging into this, because I covered Charlotte and I covered Sasha, and now Sam is doing Becky, and we're gonna get another one. So I'm honestly like this. I'm gonna announce it here now in my square going forward for Becky Lynch. This is a no holds bar match, so I'm ready.
Okay.
Well, I am ready to go ahead and get you guys' opinions and thoughts on this top 5 moments of Becky Lynch. Is your fave that you may feel like made the list, or were they left off, or were they actually your favorite as we get down to number 1? So we're going to start off with number 5 to be exact. And Meka and I, we just watched this to refresh our memory and everything. But this is a moment for Becky Lynch because she wins the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble. Now, we all know exactly how Becky Lynch got into this match, if you guys watched it. Of course, she had a match prior to the night where she was facing Asuka, I believe so. She didn't win, and she decided to enter herself into the Royal Rumble because obviously Lana couldn't make it past a crowd or to the audience or whatever. So Becky came out. Well, this was after Nia Jax attacked this child. She's already injured. And then Becky comes out later and was like, Finley, put me in the match. Lana can't get in. Let me take her spot. And Becky ended up taking Lana's spot, and she ended up getting in the match. There were multiple times where I thought like Becky was gonna go be kicked out, like she was gonna get thrown over the rope, but unfortunately that did not take place because Becky Lynch ended up winning the 2019 Royal Rumble by eliminating, of course, her rival Charlotte Flair. So Nicki, I'm gonna let you go first. So about this top 5 moment, being the number 5 at that, do you feel like this is a moment for Becky Lynch, the man at that time?
One, I'm gonna say it always circles back to the 4. Secondly, I really didn't like this moment. Anytime that Becky has a feud with Charlotte, I'm pro Charlotte, and I think that's for all of them, all the 4 horsewomen. I love them collectively, but when it comes to Becky and her feud, I like to put quotations because whatever. We'll get to that in April. But I think it's really funny that this is the start of the top 5. I don't know. I know that I know Becky didn't win the NXT Women's Championship. I would have loved to see maybe we start there. Maybe. Because she's done more. This is a high number. Either way you put it. Starting off with this, it says a lot. It really, to me, and this is just coming from someone who's also done top 5s, not to, but it's really it's pressure. It's pressure to start off with a 5 like this, a Royal Rumble. This is one of those moments that was pivotal for Becky in moving forward, and she did so much prior, but this is a kicker. This is I'm curious to know what Meka thinks this and you, Santana, what do you think as a kicker? This is a good kickoff for a top 5.
I mean, with this being number 5, I mean, I can understand it being I guess a moment, for Becky. I mean, she was on the high during that time in 2019. The man was created the year before, what I'm saying? And now a lot of people were really behind Becky Lynch. they knew that once she entered this Rumble in some kind of way, she was going to be holding this title or holding a title or winning something, you know, and why not do it at Royal Rumble? Like I said, Lana can make it to the ring. Somebody else needed to take a spot. Becky just so happened to be it. Do I feel like it's in a nice position to be on the top 5? Yeah, I do. Because I feel like Becky has had other moments. It could have been a little bit higher, but I think it's just right to kind of start off this top 5. Because I feel like the other matches that we kind of get into, it could be a lot of controversy. It definitely could be. So yeah, it's cool. You know, I just have to say is that a lot of these include Charlotte.
I wasn't coming here to say that.
I'm just being honest. Go ahead, Meka. We'll get into it. Trust me, you'll see what we're talking about.
I don't have much to say. It was the Brock Lesnar enters at 30 before Brock Lesnar enters at 30. I mean, it was what it was. Woo. She won. Went on to go become champion. I mean, it's a cool moment. Is it cool for starting off the countdown? I don't know. I think only time will tell about that. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So Liv Morgan deserves to be Raw Women's Champion. The WWE has been doing her dirty. Well, I don't think they've been doing her dirty. I just think that she's not that great.
What does Becky have to do? What is
Lynch did the last minute Royal Rumble entry, just like Rock just saying. Yeah, she did. I'm pretty sure she did that.
I'm curious to know, does Autumn think that Liv should have beat Becky?
I'm sure she does.
Liv is not on that level of stardom that a lot of people think she has. Like popularity is great, but popularity and actually having skills in the ring would be that moment. But however, we're talking about Becky Lynch. When Liv Morgan gets a top 5, then we'll have a top 5 for Liv Morgan.
Well, and just to be clear, you that ain't your girl. She got eliminated in this Rumble her music wasn't even done playing before her feet hit the floor again. Like,
maybe that's what Autumn's talking about. Is they do her dirty, not to segue to Liv.
She do herself dirty.
It is what it is. I think this moment is very if I didn't know where we were going in this top 5 and that was the first one, I would buckle up.
Child, Sam, you do not love that woman. Please stop lying. She's not on that level. It's been 5 years. It's been 10 years. She got to do that.
It's been 9 if you include NXT, right? It's been 9 if you include NXT, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So almost 10. She's 10 years later and she still ain't even have the title. But as we move forward to number 4, we have, of course, something that we all actually went back and watched this entire pay-per-view. This is where we really thought that this match here was the main event. So Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair and the last woman standing match for the Smackdown Women's Championship at WWE Evolution. And if you guys remember this pay-per-view was all about the women. Which I really do wish they would do another one, honestly, because it wasn't a bad pay-per-view. They had so many people out there coming out there to support them and so on and so much. So I felt like if they do another Evolution, they should do one. They really should do one and actually put matches on there that make sense, like with this match here. I totally forgot that Ronda and Nikki Bella was facing each other after this match. I completely forgot that because this match was so good. It was everything. So they should have put this match last and let Ronda and Nikki open up the show or something. But of course, during this time, Ronda was here, so she was the girl that everybody wanted to come and look for. But I don't know. Nikki, I know. Like I said, Charlotte's gonna be a part of this top 5 a lot. Often, especially in this one here. So, Nikki, what are your thoughts about this match here? And do you think it should be number 4 in the number 4 spot for this top 5?
I just want to say thank you, Charlotte Flair. To be the queen, to be the opportunity, you don't need the man. Charlotte gave Becky the best matches, honestly. This is honestly one of my favorite matches in their feud.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about this in my 4 article, but I personally I would have ranked this higher. Definitely. I would have definitely it would have been higher for me, and I think it was my number 3, maybe. I think I put it on the top 5 Charlotte matches, maybe. But I do think that this was an important moment for Becky.
Yeah,
she needed to win, and people. I'm always very vocal when it comes to who needs the win and who doesn't, and if both competitors do. Charlotte didn't need the win. I don't think there was a moment during that whole entire feud did Charlotte need to win. This was about Becky. This was about Becky Lynch finally conquering over the person that took her bag. You know, finally there was a moment. Now, as far as wrestling goes, technicality was there, story was there. This match is really will forever go down in history as one of the greatest matches of women's wrestling history. But the best match on that card that night, they should have main evented. Now, don't get me wrong. We all know. We see it now. Again, Ronda Rousey. It's evident.
Mm-hmm.
The best part about that was Nicki giving her that Alabama slam. That was it. There wasn't anything else that the match gave. Charlotte and Becky's match, though, I mean, match of the night, definitely one of the big ones, definitely.
I definitely agree. Meka, what about you? We do remember that we did go and see this match, to be exact. But we went back and watched this entire match and actually watched the match like from beginning to end. We see them literally almost kill each other, throw each other through tables, all kinds of stuff. Some amazing spots. So what are your thoughts on this? And does it deserve to be in the number 4 spot?
Does it deserve to be in the number 4 spot? Absolutely not. It deserves to be higher. And I will say this, and you guys were with me when we watched this match, and that was my first time watching this pay-per-view, because I do want to say for our fans, there was a moment that I was out of wrestling completely. I was not watching, and this is part of that moment. And so we got the privilege. I got my girls together, and we went back and we watched it, and this is where I figured out why people respect Becky Lynch so much. Because for me, Becky's cool, but she's not like the holy grail like people were trying to convince me she was. This match, I don't know if it's because Charlotte was involved or it was just Becky like turning up, but she delivered another quality, another caliber of competitor in this match. And honestly, like everyone said, there should not have been another match after this. The main event was Nikki, Bella, and Ronda. Like, that match was a bathroom break compared to what Charlotte and Becky did. So should it be higher? Absolutely. This is probably the one match of Becky's that I'm like, girl, that was it for me. Like, you gave what needed to be given. So I'll give her high praises for that match. Y'all know, even if I don't fool with somebody, I will give them their praise when they deserve it. And she definitely deserved it in this match. Shout out to them.
I definitely have to agree. I still think about that match. Honestly. Chad said Becky is the best. I don't even think Roman Reigns himself can beat her.
Wow, they wrestle about the same, to be honest.
Well, yeah, they both got about 7.5 moves, so we could put them together and see what happens.
Yikes. As we move forward into the number 3 spot, Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship in Hell in a Cell 2019. This is when we pretty much got the return of Sasha Banks, sort of. And their feud began, and I just feel like, this match, we actually went back and we watched this match, but it's just like, I don't know, like Becky and Sasha, I don't think they really have that much chemistry like that. it's just, it was okay. It really was okay. But I just
be honest, their match on SmackDown recently, when they were in the main event, was better than this. Yeah. Like, people give me so much heat for saying like this is, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know why I have a bad memory, but I think I put this on my bottom 4 for the sale matches.
You did.
And people were like, well, why? And I was like, well, you guys use Sasha as a filler, right? What in the hell were Becky and Sasha doing in Hell in a Cell anyway? That's so random. Like, it's not like they don't have history, but Sasha should have easily won, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that Sasha does give a lot of the 4 horsewomen and other women their best matches. It was very pleasing to see Sasha take it to Becky at that time, because I wasn't on the whole Becky bandwagon. But I don't know. I really did not. This would have definitely probably either not made the list, or it would have been like a 5, or I don't know, 3. Rounding up my 3 with this, absolutely not. This is not Becky's best. Becky was doing better work in NXT than she was doing in Hell in a Cell, and that's why I noticed that a lot of the NXT, and we'll move on, as we keep going, you'll see, but the NXT influence is something very important. Even though Becky didn't win the title, I still think she had she never really got her moment in NXT, but I still think she sparred really well in some of those matches, even when all 4 horsewomen, were together in the match, and her stuff with Sasha. I don't know. This match just didn't hit for me, and you're right. I think the chemistry can be a little off.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's certain comments that y'all putting that I'm ignoring.
No, yeah, I'm about to address them. Don't worry about it. I'm about to address them right now. 2 comments. 1, yes, it did feel as awkward saying it as it did for you to hear it, that it was Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey in the main event.
Yeah, I definitely was like,
yes. When they told me that, I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that was right.
Like, you should have heard Mika. Mika was like, oh.
But the Bella twins were like playing friends. Like, they were playing friends with Ronda.
Yeah, and then they turned on.
Like, there was a kind of a celebrity kind of feel, so. But yeah.
Right. But to this other comment that I'm not going to read because you will not disrespect her like that. This is Becky Lynch's top 5. And that's who we're talking about, is Becky Lynch. So if you have a vendetta, or you want to push somebody else's career, or convince other people that this person has more than this person, podcasts are free, YouTube channels are free, Twitter is free. You can do that on your own platform, but what you won't do on Women's Wrestling Talk is down another woman in the name of another. We're not doing that. We don't do that here. So we thank you for tuning in, but we don't do disrespect to women in any means. So we're not doing that. Now back to the match. I'm sorry, Becky was getting whooped all over that cell. Becky was getting whooped before the cell touched the floor. They was outside, and I was like, why are they? What is going on? Get back in the cell. It seemed awkward. It seemed definitely not number 3. Definitely not number 3. Not some of Becky's best work at all. If anything, it highlighted Sasha more than Becky, if we're being honest, because Sasha came in that match ready to try to kill that girl. And she tried a couple of times. So definitely not 3 for me, but I mean, I guess I could see it.
Beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns. The wrestling class said Becky work been slacking since she became the man. I just feel like she forgot how to wrestle. Like Becky, the last kicker, she was really
legit.
Good. Like, but now it's like
Charlotte is the only one that brings out something in her. Honestly, I don't know.
She forgets how to, like, she forgot how to wrestle or something. Like, she doesn't use some of the moves that she knows that she can use in her arsenal.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but she kind of stopped a little bit. Chad said, "Wow, I never noticed before, but now that you mentioned it, Becky and Sasha probably have the least chemistry of the 4 horsewomen."
Well, that's not fair
because we haven't seen Becky and Bailey
Becky.
too, so we don't really know. Like, and I'm hoping that when
Bailey can wrestle a broom, so I feel like it might be a little better.
Yeah, but Sasha can't too, so that's not fair. Sasha can too, so saying that is not.
I mean, I just feel like it might have a better chance of having a little more.
I feel like
I don't know because Bailey doesn't.
They don't have any.
You can wrestle a broom, but that don't mean you're gonna wrestle chemistry. Like you're not. That don't mean you're gonna necessarily have it. I don't think that Sasha and Becky necessarily don't have chemistry at all. I just think here in this moment there was no chemistry, and overall their chemistry lacks out of all of them. I think it really looks. I don't know I don't know. I feel like with Becky and Bailey, I think we're gonna get pure wrestling, and maybe like a story of Bailey kind of making fun of Becky, kind of being like the last one to really like. I don't know. I want them to take a trip back memory lane, back in NXT, back when Bailey,
because there's story there.
There's story
there is a story there.
There's definitely
a story for them. And like I always say, like when Bailey does come back, I hope she does go to Raw, and I do want her and Becky to have a feud. There's storytelling there between those two. And it's something that we really never seen before. We've seen everyone else have their own separate feud and whatnot. Bailey and Sasha, Bailey and Charlotte, Sasha and Charlotte, Sasha and Bailey, Becky and Charlotte, Becky and Sasha, but never Bailey and Becky. So I think that if Bailey does come back, I would like to see her and Becky, actually go in and have a feud and everything. Nickie, there is a question for you. It said that do you think
a good question?
Do you think JD asked Nickie, do you think that Char brings that out in Bex due to backstage friction? Why do you think that is? Honest question, not snark.
I know, I read that too. I honestly don't. I think the friction between Charlotte and Becky is in Becky's mind. I think what Becky does, and this is no disrespect to her, I know we're on her top 5. Shout out to the 4. But when it comes to Charlotte Flair, you use interviews and you use press junkies to talk about Charlotte. Now, Ric Flair does the same thing to you, Becky. I'm not saying it. But when Charlotte Flair goes into an interview and speak about you, she still talks about all those great moments that y'all had as the 4. She still talks about you like a sister. So, no, I think that Becky's problem with Charlotte is in her head, honestly. Any backstage friction, and y'all know how I felt about it. I left the Discord when everything was going on between Becky and Charlotte because it was so overdone and people were really trying to make something that it really wasn't. And I'm not saying that it wasn't there, but a lot of it is Becky. A lot of that friction between Charlotte and Becky is Becky. And I think a lot of it is fabricated. I really do. I think sometimes Becky is still in character when she says these things about Charlotte because she knows how things are going to really be. And I think that's a great question. I do think that Charlotte does. Same with Sasha Banks. They just bring something out of their competitors. Yeah, that's a good question though.
Yeah, definitely. And Chad said Becky and Sasha do have great chemistry, just not compared to the legendary chemistry of Sasha and Bailey or Becky and Charlotte. I mean, yeah, it's there, but it's not right. It's not the best, but I just think that maybe within this match, it just really wasn't there. And we've seen Sasha be in Hell in a Cell matches. So we know the chemistry that she can bring out of people, but it's just I don't think it just wasn't there for that one.
Yeah. And Sasha should have won. Honestly,
yeah, Sasha should have won, but that was on the high of Becky Lynch. So as we move on to probably guys, we're at number 2 right now, just so you know. So just a quick rundown for those who are probably joining new. Number 5 was Becky Lynch. She wins the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble. Number 4, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Champion and the last women's standing match at WWE Evolution 2018. And then last, what we just went over, Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Champion at Hell in a Cell 2019. And as we move over into number 2, we are down. We are like, which I feel like number 2 should have been number 1. in my opinion.
I feel like a lot of people don't feel like that, to be honest.
I feel like it should have, because this here was a you know, of course, number one was cool, you know what I'm saying? But in number two, this one was this was different from how it was with number one. So as we jump into number two, of course, the match that was first time ever women's main event at WrestleMania. This was Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35 for both the Smackdown and Raw Women's Champion winner takes all match. And this is where the night that Becky became Becky Two Belts. And, you know, this really started back at Survivor Series, honestly, with Ronda and Charlotte, because Becky ended up being injured due to the fact that Nia Jax, you know, punched her in the face, and she thought it was Lana, and I don't know how. But you know, Becky ended up having a bloody nose, so then Becky wasn't able to be a part of, you know, Survivor Series, and she was out for a minute, and then she ended up getting injured with her leg. So it was just a lot of things that was transpiring where, you know, Becky was almost left out this match card, and it was really just going to be like, yeah, go ahead.
Can we go check Becky's Instagram right quick, please?
Girl, I done seen it already. I'm just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, I guess we are in her top 5.
I mean, it needs to be announced, and if we didn't get to it, I was gonna announce it, but yeah.
It's disturbing, to say the least.
Okay, so I'm looking at it, and Becky Lynch stated that this is her post that she put, and the caption says, "Unfortunately, I will not be at Raw tonight. Not only did Bianca whip me maliciously with the illegal weapon that is her hair last week, but last night in the main event in WWE Allentown, she tried to take away my biggest weapon, the spoken word, by fracturing my voice box. She can't keep me down that easily. I'll be coming for her next week. You can't spell WrestleMania without ill." I don't know.
So you guys, here's the picture. I just grabbed the picture real quick. This is the picture that she posted. Like, this is not funny. I'm laughing because of the caption, but this is a lot. And I'm gonna delete that.
I am very disturbed by that. I don't even know like what is going on right now, but
yeah.
What? All right, Becky. I wish you well. Yay. Michael said there is no doubt that after Becky's return from her long break, she is more dominant in the on the microphone as well as in the ring. What do you think? Yes. Now, I will say that. Now, here's the thing. I know we kind of off from the top 5 thing, but when Becky returned at SummerSlam, do not get me wrong, I was happy to see her.
You were.
However, after what transpired, everything went downhill, because I feel like what her and Bianca had, that could have been a match, an actual lengthy match instead of 26 seconds. So yes, I was highly upset about that. And ever since then, I've been highly upset with Becky because of that situation. But can I say and not deny that her mic skills have gotten better? Yes, they have. When she was taunting Liv, she was on Liv, and that had me laughing. It really did. I was here for it. But I mean, Becky, she's been doing a lot better. She's been getting to this big time Bex, like she's a Hollywood type style. Like she's coming back, being dressed in all kind of weird clothing, crazy hairstyles, and you know, it's just starting to really, you know, get into her character of being big time Bex. I don't know if that's an old photo or a pregnancy photo, but she posted that as if Bianca like really tormenting her and put her out for whatever. I can't laugh at the situation, because what if she really is her? And I mean, like, Nicki, stop laughing, because you're not making the situation any better than what it is. Like, Hello?
Talk about breaking news. Like, listen, I don't know. I don't think it's serious. That's why I'm laughing. I really think she's toting. She's toting with something towards Bianca at WrestleMania, and it's borderline. And you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's starting to get borderline, and I'm starting to not understand that it's. I don't know. But I mean, moving on to the number 2.
Anyway, so right? Number 2.
Yeah, because I'm not giving my thoughts.
We'll discuss that later on the night for the Raw post show. But okay, so moving on to number 2, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35, and the first time that women main event in WrestleMania. I mean, you know, this match was botched. Ronda didn't kick out the way that she was supposed to kick out. Well, her shoulder was not on the ground.
Her shoulders technically were not down.
Well,
if you go back,
she wasn't supposed to lose, and that ending ended weirdly. Mm-hmm. It was a weird ending where they probably had a few more minutes to go on.
I think Charlotte was actually honestly
supposed to win.
Because it is not win. Absolutely not. I just
be pinned.
No, be pinned. Yeah, I don't know, but it made sense because they did run with the whole Ronda, beating, and they gave her an accolade for a while, mm-hmm. and then it's almost like Ronda after this moment kind of just vanished.
Yeah,
it was nothing else. There was
that was it.
Of there was oh, Becky, and then the only reason why, honestly, I wouldn't even put this, I could see why people would put it as a number 1 automatically.
Yeah.
But what transpired after this was ridiculous. Charlotte literally won her title back just for Bayley to cash in, just for her. It literally hopped.
It's just what?
It went from Asuka to Charlotte to Becky to Bayley. In the matter of of course, I don't even think it was 3 to 4 months at that point.
No, her title reign holding both of these belts were not long. I would just say that it was a moment for her because of the fact that it was the first time women main event in WrestleMania, mm-hmm. and this was the first time this was a winner takes all match.
Yeah,
you got obviously 3 of the biggest top women wrestlers at that time. Being in this main event, it was something people were ready for. People wanted to see this match, and people were here for it.
Yeah,
I just say the way that it ended, I don't think it was supposed to end that way. That still leaves us. It just seems as if the ending wasn't supposed to end that way.
Yeah,
and Becky, she did win, but it just that ending. If we were always to go back and just watch that match and look at it, you can kind of tell that that wasn't really the finish. And I know that a lot of people, as we talked about it on Clubhouse, I know a lot of people said that, oh well, Becky got backlash or chewed out backstage because of that match or because of that finish or whatever. And it's well, you can't really just blame her because I think Ronda knew she was supposed to kick out, but I think she was just late. That was a delay. She waited to the count of 3 to kick out. So you can't really just put it all on Becky. Becky been here. Ronda hasn't. So you can't just jump it all on her at the fact that it was botched. It wasn't her fault initially. Ronda forgot to kick out before 3. Even if one of her shoulders wasn't down, she still forgot to kick out.
Yeah. And it does resonate on Ronda, Mm-hmm. Ronda is just to blame as everyone else. One thing that I loved about this match, of course, Charlotte did not take the pin. Mm-hmm. One thing I hated about the match was she didn't take the win. I cried this night. I was probably the only person besides Jeffrey Show Live, who was one of my really good friends who was at the show actually and had on his Woo t-shirt, probably thought that we were the only ones that probably thought Charlotte was actually going to win. I was very upset. I was very upset. I will never go back to this moment and rewatch this match. I don't even rewatch it. It's one of my least favorites, honestly. it almost makes me happy that I didn't do a top 5 because I would have had to put this as number 1. I would have felt guilty if I didn't because it is. So I would have put the number 1 as number 5. To be honest, we haven't gotten to the number 1 yet. If you haven't checked out the article, make sure you do, please.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I would have. This moment is the pinnacle of Becky's career. This is the reason why we got the man. This is the reason why, like literally, this is her best moment match. This is the highest we've seen Becky. This is the pinnacle of just her. Honestly, I love whoever. Like you
is crazy.
It is so like I love people who come in and don't agree with me, but can still have thorough substance conversations. I appreciate the people that come in and do that. But seriously, like this was the moment that Becky, like that her becoming a champion and then having to forfeit it, her never becoming NXT Women's Champion, her always getting pushed over by Charlotte Flair, even at SummerSlam, her losing matches after matches, her finally getting her like.
This is all a build up.
Becky 2 belts is number 2. That's wild. That's wild. That's wild. But hey, listen.
The WrestleMania main event is number 2.
The first time.
Okay.
There's no way Santana's smiling this long.
Oh no, is she frozen?
There's no way. If you guys are watching, please get a picture of Santana. Oh, dang. You missed it. Thank you, Santana. Oh, you went out.
But it went out when you were smiling, so it was the perfect, like, still frozen shot of you with this, like, cheesy smile on your face.
I'm screaming.
Are you ready? Because look, Justin from the Wrestling Classic is in the comments. He can't believe that this is the number 1. So I'm ready for these people to like. Do y'all like? What do y'all think about this being Meka? Would you have put this on your number 1?
The next one?
No, this one.
Or would I put this match? This yeah, this would have probably been 1, and the Charlotte and her at Evolution would have been 2, probably.
Yeah,
honestly, that's where I would have had them. But it's not my top 5. I'm just speaking of facts.
Yo, shout out to the Wrestling Classic for getting the still shot. We got the still shot of Santana. Love to see it. Santana, are you back with us?
I'm sorry, I had to respond to what was done. So I'm going to let him know right now. I'm going to let the man know that he blocked. Don't even worry about it. So if you don't see my name pop up no more, you block.
The Wrestling Classic, yes. The Royal Rumble win was number 5. Charlotte Flair with Sasha was 3, and number 4 was
Number 4 was
the women's evolution match.
Was the evolution match, Becky and Charlotte for the last woman standing match.
Well, now that we have the other half of the Salt Shakers, are you ready?
I'm here. Let's go ahead and wrap this up because I was in my Wi-Fi. Just be whatever. So coming in, whatever. Not impressed. Let's move on. Get out of here. Block. So as we move on into the number 1, Becky Lynch becomes the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion at Backlash 2016. And me and Meka, we actually did go back and watch this match because I actually totally forgot that this match, not say that this match happened, but I forgot who all was in the match. And
Alexa Bliss, didn't she beat?
It was Alexa Bliss, Naomi,
it was a 6
Carmella
match. So it was Naomi, Becky, Carmella, Alexa, and I don't think Dana Brooke was in this match.
No, it wasn't Dana Brooke.
No, who was that last person? Was it Bayley? No. I literally forgot who was the last person in that match, but I could have sworn that I definitely forgot who all was in that match. No, not everybody, but I can't remember who the last person was.
Carmella?
No, we got Carmella. So it was so Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi, Natalya, Nikki Bella, and Alexa Bliss.
Nice.
That was the SmackDown Women's Title 6-pack challenge match for the inaugural SmackDown title, which of course Becky Lynch became the first ever one to hold that title. It was a great moment. She became the first person to hold this title. She had to go through 5 other women who were literally at this time in 2016. They were at the top.
I would have put this at 5.
I would have too. But
or 4. Where's it going?
Yeah, I agree. But it was a cool match. It was a lot going on. They had some really, really great spots, great moments. You can say men all day. It was straight.
Listen, no, I'm saying to this number 1, this is wild. Like
I would have never put this as number 1. I feel like it was a great moment. If you want to go down memory lane, you could have just started this off at number 5 and then went on.
People don't even honestly.
People don't even remember this.
People don't even associate this with being a top moment, only because she was not given a reign. Now, if you're gonna kick off something, this is how you kick it off, because this is where we started. Mm-hmm. This is why people felt so bad for Becky. This is why people couldn't understand why Sasha went on and Bayley went on and Charlotte went on, but Becky didn't. This was why. And this is why, if you think about it, I think this is a big moment, because when I was doing the 4 research, as much as I know about the 4, I did so much research on that article, and I didn't even realize that the 4 are the first. So Charlotte, the first Raw Women's Champion, Becky, the first SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha and Bayley, the first Women's Tag Team Champions. This moment is definitely pivotal, but this is not the number 1 moment for, and of course, this is Sam's. Sam being a huge fan of Becky, by the way. I mean, this is Sam's. This is Sam's top 5. Wouldn't have went my way. I would have sprinkled a little NXT dust around, but hey, shout out to Sam for including Charlotte in damn near every moment. Over here at Flair Country, we resonate and we love it. Yeah. Well,
you on your own with that one. I like I always say, the 4 are not people that I bring up in my.
Well, I got this last night. Charlotte ain't gonna diss me. Shout out to Charlotte for the follow.
Yeah, she ain't gonna diss you. I wouldn't diss you either. But when you somebody Nate Flair Nation, I'm not a part of that. I am on the outskirts, somewhere on the other side of the road. Thank you so much, the Wrestling Classic, for your top 5 moments. But this ain't about you right now. Anyway, so I don't know where Meka went, but this is number 1. So
I want to know how the people in the comments.
I'm here, child.
Yeah, how do y'all feel about this being number 1?
This is his.
Chad did say this was his number 1. I don't know why, but I think he did explain it earlier. He said that her SmackDown Women's Champion win is my number 1 moment for Becky, because it was originally pure babyface Becky that we all wanted as champion to begin with back then. I don't know who we is. I'm not French. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are fans of Becky would have loved this moment for her. And I'm glad you guys got to get that moment of her being the first person.
What? I'm not French. Hold on.
Right. But right now we're at Lynch. We're here with
this would have been an honorable mention for me. I ain't even gonna lie. It would have been an honorable mention.
Charlotte got my blood falling.
Yeah, it would have been an honorable mention, but it's not my article, so woo, go Becky.
Yeah, but all opinions matter. And JD says, saying that her Irish leprechaun dance in NXT wasn't included, but I appreciate you all doing this list. Appreciate Sam. I wish Sam was a little better to give his opinion as to why he picked it, but I'm pretty sure we would have been on here for 3 hours. But so that's it. That's the top 5 moments of Becky Lynch. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. There will be more top 5s coming up. I think featuring the twins. What them girls is? The Bella Twins top 5 will be happening pretty soon, and of course Nicki is going to be there. And I think Emily is supposed to be on there as well. So you guys make sure you tune in for that top 5 for the Bella Twins, because I won't be there. Meka won't be there. I'll be there in the audience to watch. I love it. You know, I'm happy to be here. I mean, I was here when the Bellas was doing their runs and stuff in wrestling, but I never catered to them.
I'm a newly fan of the Bella Twins, specifically Nickie. I went back and I watched all of the Total Divas, and I became a fan of Nickie. Me and Nickie are like honestly sisters. Like I feel like Nickie and Nickie, honestly. Nicki Bella, if you're out there, I might see you know, one day I might get to meet you. But yeah, Primo. They also shout out to them for eliminating Liv Morgan at the Royal Rumble. Oh my God, what a moment. And then did the whole like loser. Oh.
Shout out to Brie for eliminating Nicki at the Royal Rumble.
Oh my God.
Shout out to everybody else throwing they behind out the ring. You know, whatever. I was screaming on the plane, but all right. Anyway, so the truth is the Bellas could have coasted on their looks and Family Tree, but they put work in. They did look something.
Nicki could get a top 5 by herself. Let's just put that out there, okay?
Yeah, she could. But they did it on the Bellas, so. Joseph said that how ironic they did this top 5 on Becky when she just tweeted, we went through that. We already know exactly what transpired, and we continue to move forward because that's exactly what we do here at Women's Wrestling Talk. We move forward. Any last thoughts on this top 5 moment before we get out of here, y'all?
I think it was a shuffle.
Yeah, it's like shuffling. It's like basically this was like open up a new pack of cards and not shuffling.
It was like 5, 3. It was like 2, 4, 3, 5,
9, and 3.
7
and a 7.
But yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Thank you guys.
Thank you to Sam for writing it. It was a joy to cover, you know.
Yeah, Sam got a lot of top 5s a lot of people will probably be covering. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Make sure you guys come back for the Raw post show, of course, featuring me and Nicki of the Salt Shakers and Meka. What am I doing? Meka will be doing the live tweets on Women's Wrestling Talk. So make sure you guys come in and engage with her and whatnot, because you never know what Meka gonna say. She gonna keep it PG, but she definitely gonna want to say something else. Nicki, let everyone know where they can follow you at per usual.
We're on the road to WrestleMania, so it's all about Charlotte Flair. When it comes to WWE, I'm on Twitter. Okay, come catch me. Check out my new Jay White video. Got dissed last night. I love you, Trey Miguel. Shout out to that man. Because it gets active on the Twitter. But yeah, follow me on Instagram and Twitter and catch me tonight. And yeah, I love you, Trey.
Meka, where can everyone follow you?
Other than live tweeting tonight on the page, please follow at WWT Talk Pod on Twitter. You can find me everywhere at Meek the Mage right here. You can find me Mania Weekend. I live in Dallas, so the Salt Shakers will be coming to my territory, and the faction is gonna get lit. So we're gonna do what we do. But yeah, y'all can follow me right there. Y'all already know. Easy to find.
Yes. And of course, for me, you can always Google me, Driune Santana. You'll definitely find me on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, come hang out with me. I don't really have no beef with nobody, so I think everybody like me, so I'm good to go. All right, guys, see you guys for our post show for Raw tonight. Make sure you guys come back, and that's right, Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.